If you watch the video about the listening for a wheel bearing noise on our video, we're now going to show you how to take the wheel bearing off the car. We've got about 80% of the work done here, but I'm going to point out the steps that we did to go through it. One of the things you'll want is to have your tools ready and to go, and different size sockets, so that it makes the job go quicker and faster. One thing I would like to point out is the flex bar that I use. If you don't have an air wrench, I use an air wrench a lot, but this here is a 1/2 inch flex bar. That's the standard size, this first one here. And you can buy this extra long one here. And it really is a nice bar to give you that 450 pounds of torque, or 400 whatever's on your wheel, to take this nut off. That's your axle nut that holds your CV axle in. So the way you would start is you need to take your tire off, then remove your brake caliper and hang it out of the road. And I hang it on the spring with a wire and try to make sure it doesn't fall off. You don't want a chance damaging the hose. Then you come back and you start disassembling the parts around your bearing. You can take off this plate here. That's your shield for your brakes. That can make noise sometimes when you put it back together. If you hear a scraping noise, that might be what's scraping. Check for that. Part you want to take off. Well, start by undoing this axle nut. I used the air wrench and it snapped it off, no problem at all. And lay that nut aside. Then you want to undo your strut bolts. Spray them with WD-40 first so that everything gets a chance to be loosened up. And once you get those nuts off, then you'll want to remove your tie rod. One of the tricks I showed you here is what I do is I take 2 hammers and I go like this, and it pops your tie rod out. Otherwise you have to use what's called a pickle fork, and that can damage the rubber. So try the hammer trick. It works really great. The next thing you need to undo is get down underneath and take off your ball joint. This is your ball joint here, and there's a bolt. You undo and take that off. We're going to tap out these bolts for holding the strut in. I usually try to put the nuts back on the bolts. It's easier to keep track of later. Now we're going to drive the CV axle off and pull our spindle out. And there it is. In here is your wheel bearing. There's going to be a snap ring in here that you have to take out right around the edge. You see it right there. Let's get in the light because we don't have any light here. That's your snap ring right there. You can see the piece. I use 2 screwdrivers to get in there. And there's a snap ring on this side as well. But we've got to press this hub off, and then we'll press the bearing out, and we'll show you how to do that on another video. So I hope this has showed you how quick and easy it is to take this apart. It should take about 15 minutes if you have air tools. First time you've done it, you might spend an hour without air tools and just wrenches, but it goes really fast. And now we're going to take you to the next video on how to take this apart and press out the bearing.